Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Knack. We have got live tournament action coming at you. It will be on GSL's Calm Before the Storm, and myself and Wendy will be casting this beautiful little PvP here. Wendy, how are you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great, man. I really hope someone goes Nexus first. I told them I'd give them $20. I don't know if they believe me, but I really would give them $20 if they want Nexus first in a PvP on Calm Before the Storm.
I'll tell you,
if there's
it's not the worst play in the world.
It would be very, very meta game. Yeah, I would say if someone did it, I'd have them win anyways, just for that. Just the sheer guts it would take to do that, I think, is more significant than anything else.
Yeah, man.
But what about the matchup? PvP, Calm Before the Storm, macro-oriented map, not a very macro-oriented matchup. How would you play this out as a Protoss player? What would your thought process be? Do I go for a little bit more macro-intensive build, try to expand a little earlier and hold off with force fields? Or do I maybe kind of go counterintuitive and try to, hit them really hard, really fast with maybe like a 4-gate or even like a 3-gate with robo pressure?
Yeah, I think, I think even with as large of a map as this is, that your meta game for Protoss actually changes very little because proxy pyloning is the key to reinforcing regardless. So I think, the only thing that you really won't be able to reinforce quickly is like Immortals, because that's a heck of a long walk, but 3-gate pressure, a 3-gate robo pressure even is still definitely viable here. And I expect that any player that's going to take an expansion is going to do so based off very, very good scouting. They need to know what their opponent is doing and be able to make that decision based on, okay, he's not going to be attacking for a while. And so I think even though this is a large map, it really doesn't change it, I guess, all that much, I guess is my point. But and here we see, Vogue with a standard opener. It looks like Kodak doing the same thing. He's got his cyber core down, just slightly ahead of his opponent there.
Yeah, about 5 seconds. Not going to be too big a difference given the size of the map, but if it ever came into a situation where Kodak was being pressured, or rather Vogue was being pressured, it may come back to haunt him. It kind of really depends, and that's kind of what a lot of people had the problem with the PvP matchup, is just that you don't have your warp gate out in applicable time, like at a time that's really suited to what your opponent is doing, not so much to what you're doing, but rather what kind of pressure your opponent's going to be putting on. Right. You could lose games. Like, you could have 4 gates and he could only have 2, but if your warp gate's 20 seconds behind his, well, guess what? You're not going to win just because he's going to be able to reinforce so much more quickly than you are.
Right.
And Vogue has, both players have taken a second gas. I personally know that Vogue is very, very fond of Phoenix play in PvP matchups, so we could see it's possible. Given that second early gas, but then again, so has Kodak. So it pretty much mirror builds from our Protoss players here.
Slightly different timings, but like you say, same build here so far. And I'm expecting to see some deviation though fairly shortly. We do have a second gateway going down here for Vogue, just the one for now it appears, and it looks like we're going to see a Twilight Council out of Kodak here very early.
Yeah, DT expand would not be a bad choice on this map. It gives you a lot of map control. You can take that easy backdoor expansion. You can even maybe harass your opponent a little bit, because it's not like what map was that? Delta Quadrant was it called, where you could place a pilot and warp into your opponent's backdoor expansion?
Yeah.
Was that the map, Delta Quadrant? Someone in chat can tell me that.
No, this is the back pocket expansion on this map right here.
Oh yeah. But remember that do you remember the map early 2010, like right after the game's release? There was a map that. There's our Stargate, by the way, and there's our Dark Shrine. See,
yeah, so it is DTs, but yeah, I can't remember the name of the map, to be honest. Cannot remember.
Yeah, someone in chat, I'm sure, will be able to tell me. But here comes our Phoenix play, and I said DT expand would be a good choice. Wow, I should play Protoss. What am I playing Zerg for?
I don't know, man. Zerg is like un-OP if there is such a thing. And Protoss is definitely where it's at. But yeah, Dark Shrine, I'm excited. Do you think that he's going to be able to get anything done? Now, the trouble that this presents Vogue is he doesn't have any detection at this point.
Yeah, this is kind of just maybe a blind counter win for Kodak. Vogue doesn't even know where his opponent is. I'm sure he's, by process of elimination, realized where he may be, but it could be a big problem if he is going to get that scout off. But if he doesn't respond in time, it's going to be a big problem. He will be able to force field. So long as his opponent is not able to warp into the back of his base, he will be able to force field at least twice. Maybe buy him enough time to get out of Forge with the cannon, or even a robo out. And here comes his first Phoenix. So does he go in for the scout? Ooh, no, he just turns around, and that's pretty crucial.
Yeah, that's interesting play too. You know, it strikes me as a little strange in a lot of ways, but he's taken an expansion right away because of that. I love the scouting here, and I love the reaction from Vogue. Now
But here
it comes
three
down to the
DTs in the
DTs.
vein. We might see instant GG right now.
He's
That
gonna
one
have some trouble
pylon.
with this.
Yeah, and he's pulling all his probes. That one, there's only one pylon. There's one Artosis pylon piloning 2 warp gates and that cybernetics core. Vogue now realizing the critical error in what is going on. He does have a huge unit advantage, though. A lot of resources and supply tied up in those Dark Temple. He may be able to win with maybe a base trade scenario if you were able to protect a pylon.
Yeah, I'd say send them all out. Try and get some mining done and take an expansion somewhere else on the map. The nice thing about as big as this map is it will take Kodak a long time to find a hidden expansion.
Yes, so Vogue definitely has options here. He's not down and out, although they are beginning to dwindle. I really think he should cancel that Nexus. Maybe he's just trying to let that DT feed on it for a little bit longer. But it's going to be tough. It's really going to come down to this base trade scenario. He does have 5 Stalkers versus the 2 and the Sentry and the Zealot and the Probe. But those 4 Phoenixes make a difference. If you were to lift up 4 of those 5 Stalkers, well, guess what? 2 Stalkers, a Sentry, and a Zealot will absolutely demolish that force. And that's the power of Phoenixes. If you can use them right, they can do so much more damage than you think.
Yeah, that's so true. And here he goes.
And
Here comes his attack.
Yep, he has proxy to Robo Bay right in there. Attack is going on. Good Phoenix usage, though. I don't know if it'll be enough. Zealots have managed to break through. That's the bad thing about Phoenix is they don't do a lot of damage versus armored units like the Stalkers. They do rip Zealots apart relatively easily, though.
Yes, they do. That's what he should be picking up here. Notice he is picking them up right now. But yeah, there's just so many Stalkers to deal with that he has to GG.
GG. It's a tough loss. It's just a straight build order loss. It's a tough map to get the full scout on if you don't scout right away.
Yeah, and he did. The sad thing was he did send out a scout. He scouted the other 2 empty bases and then retreated to his base, and he really should have sent out a scout there. But I mean that's the name of the game, and congratulations to Kodak, and he will be moving on in the tournament. And Vogue, unfortunately, will have to wait till the next tournament to see him play anymore. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for watching. Don't alt tab, always alt Starcraft. To see you guys in just a moment. How are we doing? Are we doing okay?
Doing all right. How you feeling?
I'm loving life. I get to go to Dallas tomorrow with my kids. That makes me so happy.
It's in Dallas.
We go. Oh, okay. So let me just tell you something about where I live real quick. This will really get you happy. We don't. We don't do much shopping here at the grocery stores because
really?
I mean they keep stuff on the shelves that are like expired for months and stuff like that. It's a little dangerous. Let's put it that way. So we try and make it to Dallas as often as we can, which is a 2-hour drive, so that we can do grocery shopping. Yes, that's correct. Just so we can do grocery shopping. So
that's pretty crazy. Do you live in some kind of like really just like desolate town in the middle of nowhere?
Pretty much.
Yep, that's kind of. I live in a backwater town. Apparently, I Am Horror had signed up. Someone had said, "Is that the real I Am Horror?"
Yeah, that's what I was telling you. I Am Zerg is I Am Horror.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Wow, that's gonna be really tough beat. I was trying to get into one of his games.
Yeah, that'd be great. We've seen him play quite a few times.
Is he still playing for Incredible Miracle? Oh yeah, I guess he is.
I think so. I think he might still be on my list too. Yeah, he's on my list. He's currently not available.